Hi, I reviewed a lot of barrel-aged dry hop sours this summer. This one might be the king of them, but it's probably going to be more barrel sour first than the other ones I've had. Like I really like the Upland hop synth. That might be my favorite, like really juicy, fruity hop Brett forward dry hop sour beer out there. I had the Spontan Dry Hop Citra from McKellar, which I think I had that rather fresh, and I was really impressed by it. I liked that one a lot. And of course, there was the Hill Farmstead Sioux that I had. That is the Farmstead Barrel Aged IPA. That's their, wild version of their Susan IPA, and that one was very good, very Hill Farmstead. Somewhere between a saison and a lambic and a hoppy beer. But this one is I think it's not the only dry hopped beer from Cantillon, but it's kind of the one where the hopping is the most noticeable. It's Cuvee Saint Gilloise, or as Americans might say it, Cuvee Saint Gilloise, but I'm pretty sure it's Saint Gilloise. And this one is a blend of 2-year-old lambics that they then dry hop with Hallertau Mittelfrüh hops, that's like the classic German noble hop, which isn't a very intense in-your-face hop. So this is going to be pretty different from a lot of the American dry hop sours, where they're trying to make it a little bit intense with American hops. And they said, at least the brewer's note on the website said that they use no fresh lambic in this, but they picked the more refined 2-year-old lambics so that the acidity in the hops aren't overwhelming, so you don't lose the subtlety of the Hallertau hops. Oh wait a minute, I'm doing this incorrectly, as you may have noticed. There we go. And of course, I usually don't drink beers where you have to use a corkscrew, so this is a special occasion. And this one, actually, I've had this beer before, but it was like 3 years old or even more old than that. And this one, we just got the shipment a month or two ago in the Boston area. So this one it was bottled January 9th of this year. So in terms of a lambic beer, it's still pretty fresh. And they don't, everything on here says what I already told you. It's 5% alcohol. I think it's been 5.5 in the past. But it's, just a legit lambic beer, but done in a slightly different style. And that looks like a very goozy. I had a pretty fresh bottle of their goose last week and just loved it. I have a smaller bottle I've been aging a little bit that I'll probably do a review of, but that head looks amazing. Wow. Unfortunately, I put it into a slightly unclean glass. I didn't clean this one, but in spite of that, the head is just beautiful. A lot of lambics, they have a bunch of head that forms quickly and it's really wispy and then it dies down, but this one is creamy and bubbly. This looks kind of like an IPA almost. And that's a complex, not too funky nose. I feel like it's not quite as funky as their Goose. But there is some nice dried herbal berry tea elements coming from the hopping. That works really, really well with the lambic base. And it's got just a very light touch of that cheesy, mushroomy, moldy type thing that I get from lambics that is really nice, but it's not so much. It's not overpowering the hops. I think this is a really great blend. And there's no old, weird, skunky, funky thing happening. It smells really good. It just almost makes my mouth water, but it's got lots of stone fruit aromas. It doesn't smell like it's going to be super sweet and juicy. And winey, definitely a lot of wine happening. But it smells really heavenly. Mm. Oh yeah, lots of nice hop flavor. It carries on basically the same flavors as the aroma, but it gets richer. It's a lot of body and sweetness, considering it's 2-year-old Lambic. It's not 100% super dry. Ooh. Oh, and I get a deeper funk on the finish and the palate. There might be sort of a combination of the lingering hoppiness and some oak. It's almost it's vanilla, definitely strong vanilla oak. The tannins are still there. It's young, so I probably just haven't had a goose that's been this fresh and this hoppy and not. And they also, I don't know if they use aged hops. I guess they probably do use aged hops in the beginning of the brewing, but then they use fresh Hallertau at the end of the brewing process, which is rare for a Lambic. Yeah, there's so many nice sweet berries things going on. Everything from like a pale berry, cloudberry, sort of wild berries, and to blueberries almost. It's a really cool smell. And then apricots. Quite musky and oaky, but it's not very sour. It's not like most lambics, especially Cantillon. It's not just like ripping the enamel off your tooth sour. Not really big on the lactic quality too much. I think that's why it works. It's really hoppy. It's really tannic, but there's plenty of sweetness, and to make it all work, and doesn't bite with the bitterness. Really refreshing, but there's surprising amount of body, and somehow all the tannins and the hoppiness that I get from the dry hopping, even though I'm not actually getting any alpha acids from the dry hopping, but just the extra perceived bitterness from the hops, it doesn't make it too much. It's really pleasant to drink. And now it seems pretty juicy. It seems like someone mixed together like apricot puree and white grapes and maybe it's not quite peachy, maybe like unripe peach or something like that. But it's really cool. I guess pear. There's definitely some pear. This has some saison like elements going on, maybe from that extra hopping, because saisons are usually rather hoppy, and it's not too sour and bracing. Very lightly spicy, but it's like very orchard fruity, a little bit of crab apple, but it's almost more like a peary, not quite banana, saison fruitiness in there too. That works really well with the hoppiness. Oh, this beer is a total delight. If you like dry hop sour beers, this is the one. I mean, it's hard to get your hands on any Cantillon in America, but if you can find this one, especially when it's fresh. So this one, I guess, is about exactly 9 months old. If you can get this probably around a year or fresher, and you can really appreciate the hoppiness. Like there's a little bit of sediment on the bottom. I can't really see. We'll see when I finish it. But it's pretty amazing. The funk, it has plenty of the funk. It has lots of nice complexity, but it's not really funky diaper, sour, malt vinegar, manure barnyard. It's not overwhelming. I mean, some people might find it to be, pretty strong if you're not, you have to be not used to this sort of lambic wild character. But if you're drinking this, you're probably used to it. And just a very, very light, fresh grassiness. It isn't like the grassy skunkiness you might get from some other more aged lambics that don't have the fresh hops. But if this one, I guess is really aged and is exposed to the light a little bit, it could get a little bit skunky. And the body on it is just perfect. All that dry oakiness brings like an interesting earthy tea sweetness to it. It's almost like rooibos tea. Not quite really vanilla because it's not really sweet enough for that, but something like that. And then it finishes, with a tea-like tannin and nice oakiness and the lingering quality of my tongue is just that nice, perfect controlled wild fermentation that just should be in any good lambic beer. But yeah, this one is fantastic. I haven't had any of the really, like I said, I've had like a taste of Fufun, the guess is that the apricot or that's the peach. Might be the peach sour from Cantillon. That one, of course, is great, but I don't know if I'm gonna get my bottle in my hands of that anytime soon. But this one is definitely up my alley. Dry hop sour aficionados. I would say this is definitely one of the best, and I was surprised by how hoppy it would be. But of course, you can't. It's not going to be like this when it's 3.5 years old or something like that. It was still really good when I had this the first time, like a year ago. But having fresh hops in a lambic like this, blended so well, is an extremely rare thing. It's really only this one, and Iris is their other one they do, but that's more of a red, a sour red ale. So I think the hops really shine better in this one. Yep. Everything is perfect with this. With this beer right now, over a 90. Yeah, probably do 4.75 on Untapped or something like that. Maybe 5. It's really good. I know Cantillon gets all the hype, but it's because they're extremely good. I guess what I hate is that other lambic producers are kind of forgotten. You can get your hands on a bottle of Lindemann's Cuvee Reneg Gilloise that's fantastic at any good beer store for less than $15 at any time. This one I had one chance ever in my life to purchase this. What you could do is just shove some hops in a Cuvee Reneg and see how that is, but it won't be quite as good as this one, I'm sure, but not super far off. But this is one, I have to get let warm. I think you get some more interesting hoppiness. It almost has that Pilsner-y type hoppiness that comes in when it's warmer. These Hallertau Mittelfreude is a classic Pilsner hop, but I'm rambling and getting inarticulate, so this is a fantastic beer. Do it. I don't pass up on this one. This is one that a lot of people might pass up on and search for the fruit lambics from Cantillon, but this one really lets their yeast shine and their blending ability shine, and it's one of my favorite beers of all time. Goodbye.